How do you decide how much working capital you have to put in the company? This was a question that was asked to me by a viewer, and I'm answering that. So, working capital, what is the principle behind it? I'll explain that to you in short. And how do you decide how much working capital has to be put in a specific company? And what are the rules that you follow for the working capital? Now, working capital is useful in small companies, large companies, every company has it. It's basically a small cash contingency that you use for paying things like laborers or anything that is cash based. So, daily you are using that to pay out cash details, and that's how it works. So you understand the concept behind it. It depends on the industry. Now I'm not going to be very specific because every industry has a different level of cash contingency that it has to carry. Now this is to be put on the books also. So this cash contingency, as I said, this is the working capital, and it has to be logged daily. There is no excuse about it. It's just like any other funds in the company. And even if you are a sole proprietor firm, you still have to follow it. Because if you don't learn from the starting, now you might be starting up, and at that time you say, oh, I can just take out the working capital as I want and I'll just, log it. Now that doesn't work. Don't think of it that way because it might cause problems later on. So how do you maintain this working capital? How do you maintain this cash contingency in any company? Now if it is a partnership firm, then you might have to change the rules, but if it is a sole proprietorship firm, what you have to do is you have to have a logbook in which you take out the working capital. In the other case, if it's a partnership, and that logbook is updated every day, every time you take out whatever cash contingency you take out, and that's how it's maintained. Now if it is a partnership firm, the rules are a bit different. You will have to maintain either how many partners are there working and how many working capitals are needed. They either maintain one single logbook and use that, or they maintain their own individual logbooks and they tally it once a week or something like that. It depends on the company and the trust between the partners. So that is the cash contingency, that is the working capital. Now how do you decide how much working capital do you put in a company? Generally, as far as I've seen, it is not more than 8 to 15% of the company's cash holdings. No one has more than that. The only exceptions are certain fields where cash contingency is really high. Example would be crushers. Stone crushers have this problem where they have to pay the uh, pay the truck drivers and all the laborers and everything daily. So that might happen. Construction, things like that, they might have a higher cash contingency. But as of now, people are moving away from cash. It is all going digital. Payments are becoming digital, so these things are changing. So possibly, I think in the future you will only have mobile transfers happening even in these kind of scenarios. But at the end of the day, there is still a cash contingency because every company needs that to work, and that's how it works. The logbook, how do you maintain it? That's all up to you. That's all up to you to decide. There has to be a trust in this, otherwise it won't work. Because if there is no trust, then it causes friction between the partners, if there are any. In a sole proprietorship firm, make sure that you are maintaining the logs correctly and checking through it so that you know that you are not burning through too much cash too quickly, because that's the number one reason how people, as you know, in most companies, the reason why they break is because the cash is burned out too quickly. Person doesn't realize where the cash is going, so you need to account it, you need to classify it, take care of it. But that's how you do it. I hope that this clears your question. If you have any more questions, suggestions, doubts, challenges, whatever you want, Just put them in the comments below. If you have any topic requests, leave them in the comments below as well. Like, share, subscribe. This has been Jace for TopEvt. I'll see you in the next video.